Literally a crime second action.
Let's get an insert of this. This is in case. Welcome back to Swapcode Pictures. Today we're going to be doing another episode of Decoded. We're going to be talking about our most recent film, Room 224. So yeah, let's get into it. Do you want to introduce yourself and say what role you played in the film?
My name is Eli. I played the role of Nathan. I'm an up-and-coming actor. If you haven't already, check out the film. It's going to be a good one. And yeah, I'm ready to break down this film for you guys and get into, you know, how it all played out and what made it what it is.
Yeah. Obviously, you guys already know who I am, I'm assuming. But for the sake of it, my name is Samuel Fash. I'm the writer, director, founder of Swapcode Pictures, etc., etc. Yeah, all of that stuff. But yeah, let's get into it. First off, let's start off with like, how did you react when I first sent you the script for the film? What were your initial thoughts? 'Cause I remember we had a call and I have it recorded as well. I might weave it into this, innit? But like, what were your first thoughts? How did you feel? Did you feel pressure? Yeah, like talk to me about it.
My first initial thoughts was excitement, because obviously we've known each other for a long time. We've worked on many stuff together before, and I think this has always been like the vision to do something like this. If you look back at some of the stuff that we've done. So the first initial reactions was excitement, and I think you touched on it a second there. Was I nervous? I would say a little bit, because I feel like you put a lot of trust in me to do this one, the first one, for you, which I was very honoured to do, and I'm just happy it came out, you know, the way we wanted it to come out, and it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, I think I remember specifically you kind of saying to me, it's heavy on your character.
Yeah.
It's basically just a one character film, if I'm honest. And then there's obviously, there's three other characters, or four, two voices, and then obviously two actual people on screen. And you were like, are you sure? Like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I was like, yeah, bro, if you're up for the challenge, let's definitely do it. And we had a lot of sessions at mine when we were just like going back and forth, developing the character, practicing roles, making sure that you knew the dialogue through and through, you understood the character. And I think that was really important, because even when we were on set, like, you understood what energy was needed for most of the scenes. You knew your lines. Like, that prep we did was
necessary.
It was necessary. And I think it was like 3 weeks?
Yeah, around that, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 3 weeks.
I think the interesting thing for me was the amount of pages it consisted of, and I think we went through many changes throughout the process, and it just kept expanding. I can't remember what number it started off with in terms of like how many pages.
I think it was like 23 pages, and then it went to 26.
Yeah. To be fair, I think it was even less than that before. Then it expanded.
It might have been
into the 20s, but I remember I even. When I was speaking about it to another director that I know, I was telling him about the film, and I was telling him how many pages it was as well, and it was even a surprise to him as well, because obviously he's just done a short film that he's premiered as well, and his one was a lot less.
Yeah. I think, speaking on that fact, I think I like short films. I think it's very tough to find a story that you can tell in a certain amount of time and limit yourself. With this specific story, I didn't want to limit anything. Obviously, you already know I'm all about cinema, right? So I wanted to be able to build up the story in a certain way, give context, and really do like a tiny bit of world building. Obviously, it's not major because it's mostly set in a room. But still at that, I wanted to be able to take time with it. I didn't want to rush it. So
for sure,
if I tried to put it in like 12 minutes, the exposition of the film would have just been like super rushed, you know? So that's why I didn't want to do that. But I think, I'm just about cinema. So however long a film is going to be, it's going to be. Obviously, I'm not going to go into like the feature film level just yet, because that's a whole different ball game, different price point as well. Like, it gets a lot more serious when you get to there. But for this, I thought the film came in at 25 minutes. Yeah, I think it was decent. But even though it was 26 pages, I knew it wasn't going to be 26 minutes, just because in the script there's a lot of actions. There's like a lot of movement. You're moving to the window. You're moving back here, and that's like there's maybe 6 pages of the script is just stage directions, literally, and actions. So yeah, I knew it wasn't gonna be 26 minutes, like in all honesty. But yeah, talk to me about your character, Nathan. Yeah, tell me, how do you feel you related to the character? How do you feel about the character? What do you feel like he struggled with? Yeah, just talk to me about the character, Nathan.
Nathan was a very interesting character, I feel like, and I felt like I related to the character personally myself, just kind of through his emotions that he displayed, just going through, you know, family struggles, which obviously like most people go through, and, you know, battles of temptation, you know, which I think, not just myself, I think we all struggle with, and just making important decisions.
Yeah. I think the character is very deep, like when you think about the subject matter, because he's dealing with a lot of things himself in terms of how he was brought up. If he had a choice to be brought up a different way, he probably would have chosen a different route. But it's just like the cards he's been dealt has led him to be the person he is, and he fights it daily. But it's his character, so he's trying to.
Yeah,
it's like an internal battle consistently.
it's like a tug of war.
Exactly, it's like a tug of war. Like obviously he wants to leave the life behind, but it's not as simple as just like saying, "Oh, I'm leaving the life." It's not that simple, you know. And obviously, we find out a lot of context behind that when you sit down. Well, Nathan and Jonathan sit down. They do the back-to-back confessional. There's that whole scene where you find out about the upbringing and what made Nathan specifically the way he is.
I love that scene a lot.
Yeah. I think a lot of people said that was their favourite scene.
Yeah, I was literally just about to get into that.
It was tough though. Like, so a lot of people said it's their favourite scene, and I'm happy they said that, because for me, as a writer, it was very tough, because there's a lot of peaks and troughs where the emotion is changing throughout the scene. It starts off pretty serious. Obviously, you just come to him asking him for help. Then it gets into you shifting the blame onto him, like for why this kind of happened, why it's turned out. Then it turns into you guys both reminiscing, and then at the end you guys find a middle ground where you can both say, okay, cool, I take accountability, you take accountability for this. And then it ends off in, not in the best way if you've seen the film, but their relationship ended off in a good way.
Are we keeping it spoiler free?
Yeah, I mean, it's spoiler free, innit? As much as we can. as much as we can. Might have to beep out a couple of stuff. But yeah, I think I was happy that people liked that scene, because one of my fears was it's a pretty long scene.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that we discussed beforehand as well, when we was watching it back as well. I personally enjoyed the scene as well. I think you really get a lot from that scene, and I think now looking back at it now, I think the length of the scene is necessary, because like you was talking about world building before, and I think it really unpacks everything in that scene for you to get enough context of where Nathan is at and who Jonathan is as well, what role he played, and where they were when they were both kids and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I think another thing about that as well is the dialogue was written in a way where, obviously, in the actual script, it tells you what emotion to have at certain points. Now, you and Sylvester, obviously, Sylvester's the actor that played Jonathan, smashed it completely. But you and him had to do we did a couple rehearsals to like kind of get it right. And it's you know what it is with dialogue, it's like a song. You have to go high at certain points, you have to go low at certain points. Like similar to like how a singer would sing a song. There's a rhythm to dialogue, and you guys had to make sure you got that rhythm intact, which is why we had to do the rehearsals. But even on the day shooting it, we did it like maybe, I think we did 4 times of the wide, and then individually, Sylvester did his, I think, once. You did yours about 3 times, but the only reason Sylvester did his once is because we ran out of time. But outside of that, I think, like you guys, and even to be fair, all of the takes, you guys knew your lines. We didn't have to stop and kind of think about what you guys had to say next, and the emotion was there. So I think the rehearsal really helped. Like it was a big part.
Yeah, it was late that night as well. And, it was.
It's like 4 a.m. I think. 4 a.m.
Yeah, and I remember when we was going back over the scenes again, trying to get the takes right and stuff like that. You could see me and Sylvester was getting quite tired as well, but we had to just kind of lock in and get it done so we can get it right.
Yeah, I think one thing that I have to like testament to like both of you is obviously, even though it was super late, everyone was tired. If we didn't get it, we were like, let's do it again.
Yeah.
You know, we fought for it and we pushed for it. And I think that's what makes a difference when it comes to stuff like that. And obviously we're all at Sylvester's obviously he's been acting for quite a bit, but we're in a level where we're small team, low budget, trying to just do our best and create impactful work, you know? So it's always good when the team, the crew, the cast are all on like, okay, cool, let's actually try and push to get this shot, which I was obviously happy about as a director because,
Of course.
like I said in the last episode, I'm a retired perfectionist, or I'm in the process of retirement, you know?
I'll say still in process.
Yeah, still in process. It's buffering, innit? Nathan trying to leave his life behind, what do you think made it so hard for him to leave the life behind and specifically in the position he's in? Like why was it a mental battle for him to like go back and forth?
I think there was a lot of risk, and because obviously the people he was dealing with, and I want to say stability as well, because if you watch the scene with Sylvester, Money comes into the conversation and he talks about, I'm trying to keep it spoiler free, but
no, you can say that.
Yeah, you know, they speak about when he did get out the agency, and you know he ran out of money. So I think stability played a role in, you know, it being tough for him to go back to his family, because I feel like you can see the emotions in how Nathan communicated with Jasmine.
Yeah.
And you can see how hard it is, because when you look through the other lens, for example, when you look through Jasmine's lens, it's kind of hard to kind of understand unless you're actually in it. You know, it's easy to just say, oh, why don't you just do this, or why don't you just leave, or why don't you just, but you don't understand the magnitudes or the gravity of the situation at hand, or you know, what Nathan is kind of dealing with.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of history to it as well when we look back. Like obviously he said, one of the lines is the agency took care of me, mum, not you. So like he might feel like he's in debt to them.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of metaphorically, because obviously he's actually in debt. But I think he felt like he might have been in debt to the agency because they took care of him. And obviously taking care of him is subjective. They took care of him, but also benefited from him.
Yeah.
You know, by using his services, or if you want to call it that, right? But yeah, I think it's never easy to leave something, especially something that you've been doing for such a long time. Obviously, he was in the agency from quite young. He was basically groomed through that, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like the film on the surface is about Nathan leaving the life, but I feel like in our own lives, we all have examples of things that we're trying to leave behind, and we say, okay, cool. Even like the whole new year, new me kind of thing, right? Where someone says, okay, cool, this year I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you fall short, you know? It's the same cycle that everyone is I'm sure people are trying to break certain cycles, right? But I think there's a lot of history to it in terms of Nathan as a character, because he wants to, like you can see in his heart, he wants to,
sure.
But he finds himself in a situation, and it's back to vices as well. He obviously tried to do something to make more money, but the money, it just didn't work.
It just didn't work out.
It didn't work out.
Yeah.
And sometimes when your back's against the wall, you resort to what you know. And that's exactly what I think happened with Nathan in a specific situation.
I was also going to add as well, why he may have found it tough is like, in this life, you never truly feel free. You're always going to be looking over your shoulder. So I feel like the way he was trying to navigate certain situations with like the people he owed and like the agency and stuff like that, I feel like he wanted to make sure it was done before I return to you and we can just, you know, live like a normal, happy family.
Yeah, no, for sure. Speaking on a happy family, with Jasmine, right? Do you feel like if he wasn't with Jasmine, he would have tried to leave the life? Or do you think he would have stayed in there? Do you feel like it was more of her swaying and her wanting to actually have a normal family and a normal life that kind of pushed him to, leave the agency? Or do you think he would have probably stayed in there longer if he wasn't with Jasmine and he didn't have a son?
I would say so. I would say he would have stayed in there longer. I feel like when you have a reason why, I think it changes your whole perspective on everything and how you move and, you know, why you're making certain decisions and doing certain things. So I personally think for sure, I think he would have stayed in the life because you know, he has nothing to go back to. He has nothing to fall back on. You know, Jonathan's got his family.
Yeah.
You know, and I think even before that, him and Jonathan's relationship wasn't, you know, the best. So it's not like he has Jonathan to go back to. So I feel like he still would have been in the life.
Yeah. So one question I had, like, off the back of Jonathan, right, is how do you think, or basically they both grew up with an absent father. Why do you think they turned out so differently? Because, you know, I always think about this, where people grow up in similar circumstances, but they take different routes. There's no fine line that says, okay, cool, if you go through this, and this, you're going to turn out this way.
Yeah.
What is it that made Jonathan turn out one way and Nathan turn out the complete opposite? Because they're literally polar opposites of each other.
Yeah.
And that's obviously shown when you have the back-to-back scene, it's shown through their wardrobe. Jonathan's wearing like a suit, which obviously he wears to work. Nathan's wearing all black, what he does his work in. And obviously in terms of the colours as well. Nathan's side is red, Jonathan's side is blue. You know, so it's like a complete juxtaposition between the both of them. But yeah, why do you think, I'm interested to see that, why do you think they grew up and went different ways?
That's actually a very interesting point. I don't know, I feel like Jonathan, there was a line Jonathan mentioned, he was like, no one teaches you how to deal with grief. And I kind of want to start there because I feel like everyone deals with grief a different way. Like I feel like you can have a tragic moment in your life and some people resort to drinking or whatever else it may be, and other people, you know, just go into their shell and just go into a corner. So I feel like it's just a case of just two completely different personalities. Obviously, they also don't have the same mum as well. So I feel like that plays a factor. Jonathan was never close with my mum. Well, he never felt as such. And I've always had, you know, that kind of person there. And I felt I bear the responsibility to kind of make things right. I felt like in a way for her. Whereas, you know, Jonathan kind of took that opportunity to just kind of breathe new life and just go off and start afresh and do his own thing. And that's why he turned out the way he did.
Yeah. I think, like you said, I think the line that Jonathan said, no one will teach you how to deal with grief, that is basically the situation that made him turn out differently, because people respond differently.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nathan did what he did, Jonathan did what he did. But I think the funny thing is that the through line between both of their lives is that they're driven by that loss. You know, Jonathan does what he does to take down the agency. Nathan does what he does to, like, he's driven by that. It's like, even though that's happened when in the upbringing, that's literally just a driving force behind them, right? So, like, you see, one thing I wanted to know about, obviously I wanted to get your perspective on this, because obviously I wrote the script and whatever, but Nathan, do you think he just wanted to push the boundaries and see how far he could go without getting caught? Because you know what it is, like, sometimes you think you're too good at something, and it's like obviously people obviously actually do live a life of crime. They never think they're gonna get caught. You know what I'm saying? If you thought you're gonna get caught, why are you doing it? So it's like, you think you're just a mastermind or whatever. Do you think Nathan had that side to him where he was like, nah, I can never like get caught, surely not? Do you think he just wanted to push the boundary a bit?
I agree. I do feel that way. Because I feel like at one point, if you had the phone call with the agency, he was one of their best men. And I feel like that kind of could breed confidence in the wrong way. And you saw that in certain decisions that he made after, like when he got out and he was talking about the business deal with the cruisers, and then he decided to go and, you know, flip the money. Like, it's just decisions like this, which is, it's just so naive, whereas like, you're not the person that you once were, but you feel like you still have it, if that makes sense. So,
it's super interesting as well. I think for me, when I look at other films as well, like characters, for example, in Interstellar, Cooper, he's obviously he's a farmer at the moment, but he always had a big dream to be a pilot. And he decides to leave his kids to fulfill his dream. No, genuinely, that's what it is. And I feel like Nathan, even though he wanted to, like we were speaking about earlier, he wanted to leave the life for Jasmine, but for him, this might have actually just been a dream of his to like kind of live like this life where he's on top of the world, he's untouchable, like he's living this life where he's doing a mad thing, making good money from it, and he just doesn't get caught. Like that's that adrenaline and that thrill might actually just be one of the things he loves in life, innit?
Yeah.
It could actually just be that. But do you also think he did it in a way to prove that he was better than his dad? Or like, do you feel like he was in competition with the status his dad had? Because when you're in the car with Agent 323, he's obviously talking about how when he was in the academy, he knew your dad and your dad was obviously doing this and doing that. And he's basically saying, bro, your dad's a hero.
Yeah.
So do you think Nathan wanted to live up to that status? Did he want to surpass it? Did he want to prove that he was better?
At what point? Are we talking from his current state of mind from when he was in that vehicle, or are we talking from before?
I think in general, just in general, because you know what it is, he, like you said, obviously, 411 said you're one of he has a line where he says, I would say you're better than he was.
Yeah.
You know? And he could the same thrill as like his dad got caught in a mission, whatever happened, but he's not gonna get caught because he's better than him. You know? There might always be that competition. Obviously he might hold some malice towards his dad for how it turned out, but he's like, nah, I'm better than you. I'm not gonna get caught. Because surely if he thought he was gonna get caught, he just wouldn't do it. Because obviously he has a son now as well, and obviously fiance. So yeah, do you think like he was in his mind in competition with his father? Yeah, what do you think?
I think in that timeline of the film, I don't think so. I think his main aim was, I need to get out of this. So I think at that point, I don't think he would have felt he was in competition or tried to be. I think it was more like fight or flight, and just don't make a mistake. Let's get this last job done and let's go back to Jasmine. I think maybe if you look back earlier into his life of him being in the agency, you could probably say that. But I think where this film took place and in the timeline, I think his mindset was just completely somewhere else. Because I don't think even in how, you know, I performed or how I displayed the character, I don't even think I kind of showed that kind of enviness to kind of be the best, or like I need to outperform him, or I need to show like I'm gonna get this mission done. Where, you know, he got killed in, you know, one of the missions he tried to complete. Yeah.
Interesting. I think you're right. It's not necessarily like direct competition, but I think the thought might pass his mind, especially when like when 411 says certain lines like, I would say you're better than he was. It probably boosts his ego a bit. Yeah. You know? Probably like a little ego boost. In the early days, I would like to say that he was compared a lot, like when he was growing up and when he was climbing the ranks. People obviously see like a new talent on the rise and they're like, oh, you know who his dad is, right? You can surpass him. And there's always like, there's a couple films that are like that where there's like a rivalry, basically. But yeah, another thing as well, what do you think the character's arc was like? How do you think Nathan changed from the beginning of the film to how he ended the film? Because he ends the film, and if you guys made it to the end of the film and you watched the post-credit scene, you obviously see how he ended. But yeah, how do you think his character or his mind state even shifted from the beginning of the film to the end?
You see him get desperate. You see him get desperate towards the end. I always like referencing certain points of the film, like even during the phone call with Jasmine when she was like, oh, why don't you go ask Jonathan for help? And he just kind of like shrugs it off. So there's ego and there's resentment still there at the start, but then, you know, when the chip starts falling down, you see the desperation start to like come through, and that's where you see him burst through the house, and he's just in this whole like flux of emotions, and you know, he's just lost and he just doesn't know what to do. He becomes very naive. He starts making very rash decisions and he's not thinking straight. Whereas where the robbery went wrong, that's not something that would have gone wrong earlier on in his career. So you can just see him kind of just losing his way. So I would say in terms of his arc, it's not a good one. His trajectory was going down instead of, leaving or becoming the person that he thought he was going to become.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that. So I think, I agree. He got very, very desperate and he started to make mistakes that he probably wouldn't have made if he was in the right mindset and he didn't need to get out of the situation he was in. But also I think his mental state developed as mainly in the conversation with Jonathan. Because I feel like they had unaddressed grief that they dealt with in that back-to-back. And I feel like all that grief he had, or all that like anger he had towards Jonathan and towards his dad kind of was discussed in that situation. He kind of laid it to rest and he was at peace with it now.
Yeah, I actually was going to say, I actually feel like by the end of that conversation, he kind of healed a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like that was some part of his character arc as well, because what drove him to get to the point that he's in life now no longer drives him, because he's kind of like, I've addressed that, I understand it, and past that, now he needs a new motivation, and that's probably why going back to Jasmine after that was even like sweeter, because he's like, okay, cool, like I actually want to get out of the life for myself now, whereas before it's probably just for Jasmine, but now it's actually, he's dealt with what he needed to deal with, and it's actually authentic, him getting out. Do you think, in terms of like how you acted the scenes, do you think there's like a real life person that could have like motivated you in terms of like someone that was, like, or it could be like, for example, John Wick, when you watch the John Wick films or Equalizer or something like that, do you have like any reference points when you were acting, or like any films that you like kind of drew from, or what did you drive? What drove you in terms of your acting?
In terms of what drove me in certain key performances throughout the film, I'm going to reference my own personal situation that happened in my life. I had to do some of the scenes. I had to get to a place of like darkness and trauma that I've personally gone through in my life to be able to perform some of the scenes that I did, because it was quite tough for me and quite emotional at points. And obviously when you do multiple takes, you've got to try to get there again to kind of get that right emotion. But in terms of like reference points and stuff like that, like I would say I would probably reference, obviously, Denzel. I love Denzel. Love Timothy. I love Michael B. Jordan. Like those three, I watch a lot of films, especially of recent. I go cinema a lot. So what I try to do is, when I see certain performances quite similar to what I needed to get to, I'm taking mental notes of, like what's kind of like charging the reaction that they get in. And I'm really taking a mental note of like what mental state I need to get to mentally and physically.
Yeah. I mean, I hope you didn't ask the devil for help like Tamsin in Snowfall. I hope you didn't reach that. But
nah, sorry. No chance. Nah.
Sorry. I hear it still. Like, I think some of the scenes were very emotional, and we sat there. You got to the emotion you needed to get to, and like a couple times you're like, give me a minute, let me just work up the emotion, which I think is obviously great as an actor to be able to tap into that. I think even for me, to be fair, now you've opened a can of worms. Like, for me as well, when I was writing the script, like I tapped into some stuff from my own life as well, like breaking certain cycles and obviously certain traumas and all that kind of stuff, right? Which is where the core for the story kind of came from. Like obviously I was never in a life of crime like that, but you can look at it. If people that know me can look at it and say, okay, cool, like I can like pin this to this part of Samuel and that part of Samuel, So I think as a writer as well, there's always a piece of me in the work, where I'm vulnerable. It's expression, it's expression, and that's mainly what my work is. It's always true to what I've been through, true to how I feel in the moment. And I feel like at the time I was writing that, that's just something I wanted to tell. That kind of story, you know, is something that I wanted to kind of
That's the
pioneer.
best way to do it.
Exactly, that's the best way to do it. Like I said in the other episode, my best way of expression is not through words, it's through film. It's my language. But yeah, do you think Nathan deserved forgiveness or redemption?
Did he deserve forgiveness?
And does the film answer that as well? Like, do you think the film answers if he deserves forgiveness, or do you think he did? Like, do you think he got what he deserved, or yeah?
I think he deserved redemption and forgiveness.
Why?
Because I feel like we touched on before, like that last scene with Jonathan. You know, I feel like it healed a part of him. You know what I mean? And you know, you see the way he goes back home, goes back to his hotel, with just like a sense of relief. And I feel like you could even feel it from the start. It was always from the start, like, what's the way out? And I feel like you mentioned something really interesting before. What was the quote? I think it was the temptation of sin. I think something like that.
Oh, the wages of sin is death.
No, but I think you mentioned something else. There was a quote that I really liked that you mentioned, but I feel like it leans into that a little bit. I feel like even with us in our personal lives, I feel like sometimes we feel like we have no choice but to do something that we kind of know is wrong.
Yeah.
But you just
When
feel
your
like
back's against the wall.
your back's against the wall, but you just feel like you have no choice. But there's no like ill malice.
Yeah.
Like with doing it, you're trying to do it with a clear, pure heart. And obviously you see that when he's on a phone call with 411 and he goes over to the drawer and he opens that drawer and he sees the Bible and he's very conscious of what he's doing and the situation that he's in.
Yeah.
He knows it's not right, but he feels like it's the only way to get back to peace and just like being on the right path again. So I feel like to answer that question, I would say for sure, 100% redemption.
I can't answer it because I wrote it. I can't answer if he should get like redemption or if he should be forgiven and stuff. But I think the montage where he shoots the phone, it's obviously basically him trying to kill the life that he used to live. Obviously 411's called and he kills the phone, which is, the phone is the trigger point for which leads him into that life. You know? The second, like in that montage, I'm talking about the sink montage when his face is in the sink.
Yeah.
The second one in that is him running from the police. Now, that's a flashback. So he's obviously almost been caught before, but he made it out, you know? But he didn't stop. He didn't stop. So it's like you have a chance to stop here, but you're not stopping.
Yeah.
So like, do you really deserve forgiveness?
It's a state of panic though, you know?
No, but it's a state of panic, but it's also like, you're running from the police, so you almost got caught, but you didn't stop. So it's like, you have laid your bed, you made your bed, you have to lie in it. You know what I'm saying? But then obviously the third flashback in that scene is him in the water, which is basically a baptism. So when he's in that bathtub, that is him trying to purify himself, trying to cleanse his spirit and essentially go on a new path and live a new life. So that's a baptism. That's what it signifies, right? But even after that, like, he still got pulled back in. And to be fair, he's not perfect, which I understand. I'm going to just have to answer it. I wouldn't necessarily say he needs forgiveness, but I would say that it's understandable why he ended up in the situation he did end up in. Yeah. But at the end of the day,
I can see that.
When you watch the film, something happens to someone innocent that didn't deserve it, you know? Spoiler free, innit?
Spoiler free.
On the note of, you'll understand why I said on the note of that. What was the hardest scene to shoot? What was the hardest scene to shoot?
That damn bathtub for sure. Oh gosh, we did so many takes of that. It was not pleasant at all. Honestly, I was in pain. When you see the scene, you added a shot of me on the side of the bathtub, and I said to everyone when we previewed it, I said I wasn't acting it. I was in pain. That scene was really tough. Doing that over and over again. But you know what? I was I was really committed to do it for the cause and, you know, for what we needed it to be. I was like, I'll go through this and we'll get it done regardless, you know, so.
Yeah. And I think for sure, that was probably one of the most difficult scenes to shoot. Mainly because the expression coming out the water and also like how I wanted it to look in a certain way. Yeah, it was probably one of the hardest scenes to shoot. I'm trying to think what else was really hard to shoot.
Still came out really good though.
Yeah, it came out good. I think the whole hotel thing was quite hard to shoot just because you're in a confined space, and we didn't shoot in like script order, like in chronological order of the script, but we had to flip the room around a couple times, and it's like trying to retain the consistency throughout the shots in terms of lighting and all that kind of stuff. It was quite tough. I'm not gonna lie. The easiest scene to shoot was probably the car scene, if I'm honest. Like, it was pretty easy. We did obviously quite a few takes, but like it was pretty simple in terms of like actually filming it.
I remember it was cold that day.
Yeah, it was cold still. It was freezing.
I felt more sorry for these guys because to be fair, we was inside the car and it was all right in there. But you guys,
shot that in December. Yeah, December.
Yeah,
that was mad. That was tough. On the flip side, what was the most enjoyable scene?
The Sylvester scene. We touched on that before. Sorry, Jonathan scene, character's name. The back-to-back scene with me and my brother. I think that was the most enjoyable scene. I think we just bounced off each other really well. It was really fun working with Sylvester. He's a really cool guy, and I think he helped me a lot because he's got a lot more experience than me as well.
Yeah.
So I was able to kind of learn a lot from him while doing that scene. So yeah, I enjoyed that one a lot. Yeah,
most enjoyable scene for me to shoot. I wouldn't necessarily say I have like a specific scene that was like most enjoyable. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was all it was just all across the board. I mean, it's a job, innit? Like I'm here trying to just complete something. So for me, I wouldn't necessarily say there was like a most enjoyable scene.
Still enjoying the process though. Like
yeah,
there was definitely like you know a few shots where because I've seen you get excited when when you get the right shot.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. I think because we were shooting over such a tight time period and there was a lot of pressure on me as well. I think because of that, I don't necessarily have a favorite scene. I think a scene that was pretty fun was the running scene. I can't lie. Like, I was in the back of the car holding the camera. Like, that was pretty fun, innit?
To be fair, I feel like why you might even say you might not have an enjoyable scene because I feel like you said it a second ago. There's a lot of pressure on you while doing this. It's a very small team, so it's not like you have loads of different people running around and you know trying to aid you and to do different things. You're pulling loads of different components together on your own and stuff like that. So you're bearing that stress. So I feel like it's probably hard to
I think for
enjoy
sure
the process.
I think next film I'm not doing the same thing I did for this film. For this film I was directing, writing, editing, sound design, sound mixing. Everything. When we're on set, I'm ordering the food. I produced it, of course, like finding locations, funding it. Like, you know what I'm saying, like, bro, I was just doing everything. For the next film, I'm not doing that. So I'm gonna definitely spread out the roles just to make sure there's not so much pressure on me. So I think it's a learning curve, isn't it? I think it's definitely a learning 100%. Curve. Yeah, what was the preparation for the film? Like, I know we touched on it a bit in terms of like our rehearsals, but what else? Yeah, what else did we do, or what else did you do as in your own personal time to prepare for the role? Because, like we said, when we first jumped on our call, initially, and we were basically speaking about it's focused on just mainly you. Yeah. So it has to be on point. What did you do to prepare for that? Like, how was your process? What was your process like?
It wasn't a difficult process at all. I think the main thing for me was getting my lines down for sure, because it was I had a lot of lines. I was in the whole film, so so I had to learn all of the lines top to bottom, make sure I had it down, because you can't act unless you know the lines. It doesn't come out naturally. Yeah, it's got to be there in your subconscious, so you can just flow with your body, flow with your hands, flow with your eyes. So just going through it every day, like I said, watching films and just drawing different comparisons and making sure my tonality was right and stuff, and yeah.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, like, yeah, we went, we had quite a few sessions that we did, obviously, which is like the main thing that we did to prepare. I think for me, preparing, just reading the script and knowing your script, knowing my script in it, like, I feel like I knew it, of course, already. And I don't always do a shot list, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't always do a shot list just because I know the script so well. So it's like, for me in my head, to be fair, my shot list is in the script.
Yeah.
Like, I literally have the camera moves here, the camera pans here. We have this kind of shot, dolly zoom, I have all the stuff in the script. So for me, it's more knowing my script and just knowing what I need to do when I get to set.
I think everyone works in different ways. I've seen other directors, they've got like diagrams, pictures, this and that.
I mean, it depends.
Out.
It depends. Sometimes I do in it, sometimes I do, but sometimes, like, if I don't have to, I won't. It depends how confident I feel in the material that I'm creating at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. What was your reaction like when we first watched the film? So obviously we first watched it at mine, and you hadn't seen it. So we shot it in December. I think the first time you watched it like through was probably April. April, yeah. So yeah, what was your reaction? I don't know if you remember your reaction, but yeah, what was your reaction?
I remember.
I remember it.
Huh?
I remember your reaction. Go
on. What I remember was, I was quite nervous. I was like, I think at the start I was very heavy watching my own performance to begin with, and I couldn't see the film initially for what it was because I was just heavily fixated on like my performance. I wanted to make sure like I got it right until, you know, we started doing more watches, and I watched it again and again and again. When I got more comfortable, I started seeing everything pieced together, all of the puzzles and stuff like that. And I was amazed. Each time I watched it, I was amazed. I remember even after we completed, what scene was it? Was it the bathtub scene? Once you put all of that stuff together as well, I think you got a reaction of that on your phone.
Yeah, I got that reaction still. Got that reaction.
Yeah, I was just amazed by how it came together. It was really good.
Yeah, no, it was dope. It was dope. I think when we watched it in April, the sound mix wasn't done, the sound design wasn't there, so we were literally just watching the film with just dialogue and literally just dialogue and just acting, right?
Yeah.
Which I think it was an experience, to say the least.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
From that point to the end point, there was a long way we had to go.
Yeah.
There's a long way we had to go. But I feel like what we needed was there, and then obviously we added some stuff to it. We did a couple more, like we added some scenes to it. But yeah, I remember your reaction, like, we was like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good, but like we can do better. So we added the other scenes, we added the sound design that we needed to add.
Yeah.
We added all the pieces, and then it just crafted it together, and it just came to what you guys see today.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was super interesting.
It was crazy seeing it at that point, call it kind of like naked. Because at that point, you was like, oh, like it's all put together, but that there was still like so much to do. Like the amount of times we went studio to you know, add things, and like this is where the perfectionist part comes in, because like we just wanted to get it right. Yeah,
no, 100%. I think when you're creating something like from that's your baby. Like obviously for me, all my films are my babies, right? So when I'm doing that, I have to take care with it, and I don't want to just release it. I would rather, if I need to, I added more money to the film. Yeah. I went over budget like crazy, but kept adding more money to the film, kept going back to the studio. Can't count the amount of times I called you and I was like, yo, bro, you need to come to mine. Today we need to do this. What time can you get here? All those kind of things,
I need to check my call log during that
period.
Yeah. It was crazy.
We were going back and forth quite a lot. But yeah, I think obviously like it worked out in the end. Obviously, when you're in something, you don't see where it's going. But I think, like obviously Steve Jobs says that you can only connect the dots looking backwards. So like after we completed the film, we saw why we had to add certain stuff and why we had to put all the effort and all the work that we put into the film to make it what it was. Because without that, it wouldn't be what it is today. One thing I actually wanted to touch on, there was some proper dark days because the production was good, but it wasn't like how we wanted it. A lot of stuff went wrong. We went over time, over budget, of course. And yeah, there were some days where like I had to really fight to actually push through. We were supposed to have a recce on a Saturday, everyone was too tired, so no one could do the recce on a Saturday. So I had to go to the hotel room on my own because we shot on the Friday night. We finished at like 5, got home at like 6. I woke up at like 10, went to pick up more equipment, went to the hotel, set up the equipment myself. Then obviously you guys came on the Sunday, and then even the car scene, we were supposed to shoot that on the Monday, but we had to push that to like
another day. Yeah, we were supposed to shoot that with another scene that same day, but
it was proper dark some days, I can't lie. But I think one thing that comforts is hearing the story to other directors of how they've been through certain things. Like obviously Steven Spielberg on Jaws, like that's called the production from hell because so many things weren't working. The shark wasn't working, the script wasn't done. So daily they're literally, when they finish shooting, they're writing what they're going to shoot tomorrow. They're literally writing the script for what they're going to shoot tomorrow. So when I think about those kind of situations and obviously the heights he's reached now, just gives me like, bro, this is normal, innit? But obviously the job of a director is to solve problems. So I was just doing my job, if I'm honest, on those days.
Yeah, you got to embrace the pressure.
Yeah, man, 100%. Yeah, literally.
I'm going to put my feet up.
Man's adjusting.
Yeah. What does Room 224 itself represent to you as a filmmaker?
So for me, Room 224 represents the start of phase 1. So I've made a lot of films and I've done a lot of work. Like obviously I've been doing this since I was 9 years old. So I've worked with over 150 clients, like way over that many clients, right? I've shot so many stuff. But for me, Room 224 is a story that I wanted to tell. And it's the first film that I've done of this magnitude that actually has a through line, a story, multiple themes, and the film's 25 minutes. My film before that was 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, so I jumped from 5 to 25 minutes. It was a big jump, yes, but that's what phase 1 is. Phase 1 is creating a foundation for what Swapcode Pictures is going to represent and what me as a director, what I want to become, what my brand is going to be. So for me, Room 224 is always going to be special to me because it's the first time I've really created something of length and put in a lot of energy into it.
We've had a lot of conversations about this and I always push you to just put the work out.
Yeah.
Let that perfectionism go because even now we're seeing, recent films coming out. I don't know if anyone's seen Obsession and what's the other one called? Backrooms. Like these are 2 fresh young directors coming through that have done amazingly well with their 2 films. And I think Fash is equally on the same level and can be on the same level, reach even higher heights. But we just got to put the work out. We've had so many conversations. I tried to push you when it comes to this so much, man. But like I feel like sometimes when we have conversations and I leave, you'll go back to battling in your head and just juggling reps, so many different things.
It's reps, bro. Like I think for me, I just need to get my reps in. That's what it is, and just keep putting out work consistently. But it's like the character.
Shout out Milan for that, man. Milan.
Yeah, no cap. No cap. 800 posts.
Milan gets his reps in for sure.
Nah, he does still. But I think, bro, like genuinely, it's similar to the character Nathan. Like that's what it is. I think everyone is in a cycle somehow and tries to break a cycle. I think for me, my cycle is I put out a great piece of work or I have a great idea, but I overthink it sometimes. I'm like, okay, cool, I need to wait to do this, I need to wait to do that, wait to have this, wait to have that. It's like, nah, just start with what you have. There's no point of starting at the top. You got to start at a certain level. And obviously I've been doing this for years. Like have proof in the pudding, but I just need to obviously remind myself of that. And obviously we have a lot of conversations about this. We speak about this quite a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just reps. But yeah, like back to the question.
We could have spent a lot of time on that, but yeah, we'll move on. Next question, what was the writing process like?
Oh, so the writing process for this was about, I would like to say like maybe a month and a half, 2 months. There was quite a few, it was a long time of ideation because I have quite a lot of ideas that I want to do for my films. But this started off, funny enough, it started off as a Instagram concept that was going to be like 45 minutes, 45 seconds. The only scenes I had in my head were shooting a phone and trying to kill something that you keep falling back into. Do you know what I'm saying? Like a cycle. That's basically what it was. And then from there, I was like, how can I develop this? Funny enough, I don't know if you remember the early version of the script, but basically the conversation wasn't even supposed to be with your brother. It was supposed to be with your uncle in a car.
In a car. Yeah.
In a car.
Yeah.
And then like as time went on, I was like, this just doesn't feel right. Like
Yeah.
you're in a room, you're in a car. It just doesn't feel right. Like let's build it out a bit more. Let's spend the extra money to get a house, and then get another actor on board and just like actually build it up even more. So yeah, the process was interesting because there was a lot of, I think I did maybe like 13 versions of the script in total. So yeah, but it was a fun process. I mean, it's funny. I study a lot. Like obviously most people know, if they know me, I study a lot. And there's one thing that George Lucas calls writing. He calls it bleeding on the page. Like you're literally bleeding on the page. And I feel like that's what I do. Because I don't necessarily like writing, if I'm honest. I'm very good at coming up with the ideas, but the writing process for me, it's not my favorite, if I'm honest. But to be able to have my own voice in my films, I got to bleed on the page.
100%. I love that quote.
Yeah.
Next question we got. The film is self-funded. How did that freedom or pressure change the way you made it?
Cool. So it's a double-sided coin, right? Because I think being self-funded allows you to create your own vision and have full control. But on the other side of it, there's a lot of pressure because it's your money in it. You know what I'm saying? You can't. If you lose the money, you lose the money.
Yeah.
And no one's going to stop you from losing the money.
Yeah.
So that's the pressure that comes with it. But also, it's the fact that it's limited. You don't have all the resources that you need. You don't have the marketing budget. You don't have the amount of, you can't afford the whole team that you would like for a film like this, you know? So I think being self-funded it has its pros and its cons. I think for me, because I'm trying to build Swapcode Pictures, that's why I'm more on the trying to distinguish my voice as a filmmaker. Because obviously Swapcode Pictures is just going to grow bigger and bigger, and I'm going to eventually, by God's grace, be funding other people's films as well. But first I got to start with mine, and being able to learn these lessons of being self-funded, I think will help other people that I fund when I fund their films in the future.
Yeah.
You know? But I think it's a double-edged sword, bro. Like, honestly, like, I think that's what some of the dark days were about as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually investing money in this, and when I can live see my money leaving, I'm like, bro, this is not for the.
And then you're feeling like, and you're like, this has just got to work. This has got to work. But at the end of the day, it comes back to it's reps. You just got to put this one. All right, cool. Let's go to the next one. And just to touch on that quickly as well, I feel like what we both maybe kind of struggle with is like with it being self-funded, we come up with these massive ideas that might just be out of our resources, that might not just be realistic, but because we dive into like so many different realms and trying to be so creative, we're like, oh no, I need to have this, but realistically, you don't have the resources with that. So it's like learning how to just work within your means as well, and just being creative in that space, and doing what you can with what you got, basically. Because the future's long. We've got so much more to come. And all you're gonna do is evolve.
Yeah, 100%. I think obviously, bro, I study a lot, like I always say, but even for example, like a case study, Clint 419 with Cortez, right?
Yeah.
He started with like obviously not a lot of money, and that's why their campaigns are mad creative. Because when you don't have a lot of money, you have to be creative. You can't.
Forces you.
It forces you. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I had the biggest budget in the world, I probably wouldn't have shot Room 224 all in a room. It would have probably been like.
It would have expanded to something else. It would have expanded
a lot. And I feel like for it being my first like film of this length, for me to even make a film that's mostly shot in one room, bro, that's not easy, man.
Not easy at all.
It's not easy, and it's a bold statement, I'm not going to lie, because it's very tough to keep the viewer's attention and try to do all those kind of things, you know?
Visually, what were you trying to say with the film that the script alone couldn't?
I think visually, rather than visually, I'd probably say in terms of the themes and the story.
Yeah.
I would more say the story, because it's all about cycles, bro. That's what it's about. And there's a lot of themes in there. There's about, obviously, the drinking. Like, Nathan drinks, his dad used to drink. His dad was in the life, he's in the life. You know, there's all those cycles that are like passed down. And even the same way Nathan felt neglected by his dad, he's obviously neglecting his son because he's not there. He's not at home. You know, the son's asking like, where is he, and all this kind of stuff, right? So I think, yeah, in the story, I wanted to represent cycles, but also how you are a product of like some of the stuff that like might happen.
Yeah.
You know, but you have the ability to change that.
Yeah.
You have the power to change it if you want to. He could have changed his situation if he wanted to, but he just got a bit too deep. But you have to catch it before it gets too far, you know?
I got a sub question to that.
Go for it.
Why did you make the bathtub scene, the running shot, I think there was one other shot, the gunshot one, black and white? I think we touched on this before. I think there was also a referee. You watched the film and coincidentally,
it was
quite similar. So yeah, touch on that.
Yeah, so around the time I was making Ring 224, I watched The Bride, basically shot by Maggie Gyllenhaal. And yeah, I saw those scenes and I was like, we need to add something to our film that is like because the film is already non-linear in terms of he sees the picture, then we see the car scene, but it's more so, let's add more context to it. It doesn't have to be dialogue because there's a lot of black and white scenes that aren't dialogue, but they're some of them are flash forwards, and then the ones in the sync are all like flashbacks, so it adds context to it. So I feel like, yeah, visually I wanted to also separate it. And funny enough, I didn't actually reference Memento when I was shooting it, but when I look back at it, I'm like, bruh.
That's why I said coincidentally.
Coincidentally, there's a lot of Memento in there. Yeah. Even like the way it's shot with the black and whites, the flashbacks, the way it goes back and forth. But I think that's just down to like my film knowledge. Naturally, you create from what you've seen and you take pieces from everything, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't plan it, but it just turned out that way, and I was like, damn, that is crazy.
So you wrote and directed this.
Yep.
At what point did you know this was the story you had to tell?
I'm all about feeling. So like I said, when I was writing it, it's a story I wanted to tell from the time I started writing it. Like there's some scripts I've written and I'm like, I don't need to create this. I've written more scripts than I've obviously directed.
Yeah.
Some of them don't make it out because I'm like, okay, cool, I don't need to really tell the story, or it's not true to me. I've even shot some. I shot one and it just never came out. But anyways,
a lot of throwaways.
Yeah. But anyways, off the back of that, I think, yeah, when I wrote the script and I was reading it back and I was like, okay, cool, like I resonate with the character first of all.
Yep.
Not in terms of like the life of crime and stuff, but like I feel like it is a representation of a lot of people's lives in a way where we all try to be a better person, but it's not that easy. And I think also it's just like the battle with sin that a lot of people go through, I think, is what the film is about. And obviously even touching on like the Bible and all that kind of stuff, but it's also a story of redemption in a way because he's coming from a life and he's trying to change his life around for the better. It doesn't go the best way, but he's trying, which is what counts.
Yeah. I'm with you. What do you want the audience to walk away feeling after the credits roll?
After the credits roll, I think it's all back to feeling. Honestly, like I just express myself through film. So I feel like I want them to think about in their life, what do they need to catch before it gets too late? What cycle are they stuck in that they need to break before it's too late? That's what I want the viewers to think. Literally look inwards.
Yeah.
Because even me, when I watch the film myself, I'm like, okay, cool, bro, I can break this cycle. Even if it's something like waking up late. Yeah. Obviously, I don't wake up late. But I think I go to bed late, I don't wake up late. But if it's like a cycle of going to bed late, that could affect the rest of your day. You might get tired in a day. Even that is such a simple thing could be something that I look at and I'm like, after watching the film, I really want to adjust this part of my life. But it's also all about being a better person as well, is what I want people to walk away with. And on top of that as well, I would like them to walk away with the fact that like there's a young filmmaker trying to do stuff on his own terms. Yeah. And I wanted to encourage people and also inspire people to chase their dreams and also take the leap and just do what they need to do to try and get stuff done. Because this film was not, by no means was it easy to make. By no means was it easy to make. Chance. And I really bet on myself. And every time I'm going to bet on myself because that's what God has gifted me to do and told me to do. So I'm going to do it.
I agree with you a lot. I think any film that makes you look inwards after you finish watching it, served the purpose already.
Yeah.
And it's done its job.
Yeah.
Where did the idea for Room 224 first come from?
I already answered this. So yeah, the idea for Room 224 came from the Instagram concept basically that I had of someone shooting a phone and trying to kill something. Basically, the concept I was going to do on Instagram was called Sin is Calling, basically. Yeah. And like literally the phone was calling, but it was Sin calling on the phone. That was the caller ID. And he was trying to shoot it and trying to kill it, basically. Yeah. And obviously it's like killing your sin, dying to self and all this kind of stuff and killing your flesh and whatever. Mm-hmm. That's basically where the concept came from. Yeah. And then over time, it just grew and grew, and then it turned into Room 224.
So question to this, because I don't think we've actually explained it.
I don't know if I want to answer it.
Why? Do you know what I'm going to say?
Yeah, you're going to ask what Room 224 stands for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to answer that one.
Why?
It's private, bro. I'll tell people off camera, if you want to know what Room 224 stands for, come and ask me and I'll tell you.
When he explained it to me, I loved it. And when I saw the quote, I said, yeah, you know what? I even thought that could even be the synopsis in itself.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. But
like the thing is about me, I'm implicit. I don't like to be explicit. So
yeah.
I think it's just the same as my favorite directors. Like at the end of Inception, is he dreaming or is he not dreaming?
Yeah.
You know?
You leave it up to the audience.
Yeah, leave it up to the audience. Yeah. Like I want people to think about those kind of things, you know?
To be fair, that is one thing that I do like about you. You like to leave Easter eggs and you like to have people thinking, not have it just be, you know, self-explanatory.
Yeah.
You really want people to like dive deep into the story, what's happening and what it means. And yeah, I think it's a nice touch. Last question. Who did you make this film for?
I think I made this film for a lot of people, including myself. I think I made this film for people who are on a journey, you know? You're on a journey from the past version of yourself and you're trying to reach a higher frequency. See what I did there? Plug for frequency. Anyways, yeah, so you're trying to reach a higher frequency and you're trying to improve your life, but it's not easy. It's not as simple as that, you know? And you're trying and trying and trying. You might find yourself in a situation, but you got to keep going. Yeah. I made it for people like that. I made it for myself. Even for me, bro, like, for example, making this film, it's the same thing. I'm trying to build Swapcode Pictures. I'm trying to reach my dreams of becoming a director I know I can be and God has like told me to be. But sometimes I doubt, you know? I don't doubt that I'm going to reach there, but I doubt should I do this? I doubt a certain decision, like, should I make this film or should I make a different film? I know where I'm going. I don't doubt that, but it's more like, yeah, what decision should I make next? The next film I'm going to make, the film I'm writing at the moment, is that the right one to make? Yeah. Because I have a million ideas. Which one do I like? Yeah. Which one do I focus on? But it's that cycle that I'm trying to break of make the one that sticks with you and just trust the process. Trust the process. That's the cycle I'm like trying to, you know, break.
Sub question to that again.
Okay.
I know you touched on this before, but is it with your stories, does it stem from you personally, well, a portion of you personally, and then wherever your imagination goes? Or like, for example, you were saying like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do next. Do you ever look at what's happening currently in the world or society or whatever that you might feel like, okay, cool, this might be the right film to make now because of whatever's happening in the world or whatever?
In all honesty, yes, 100%, because I'm an expressionist. So I express what I feel. If I'm out and I experience something that's that happened in the world, it's gonna make its way into my film. It's gonna weave itself into my story, like whether I like it or not, and that's just what's gonna happen. Just because like I express, literally, I'm big on like expressing what I feel through my films. Yeah. So this is a situation that I felt, and that's why the story exists. And every other thing that I feel will most likely make its way into my films. But yeah, I think that's enough for today. I think you're giving them enough. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you already haven't seen Room 224, make sure you check it out, and be sure to check out Eli on socials. Check me out on socials as well. Subscribe to the channel, like, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Nice. Lovely. Whew. That was good, man.